him saying that he was going to do, some key things, Trump said that he was going to not start wars, and he said he was going to end wars. Two things that he promised us that he clearly could not, or just did not abide by, right? So what I think, and like a few of others have said, is that they're going to run their campaign on some anti-Trump shit. However, you know, yes, that was the not starting wars and ending wars. Yes, those were the key things that he said that he was going to appreciate. And so, yeah, while they may try to run that, that anti-Trump, and because look what he's done, and look what he did to you guys, his prices and the gas, and they're gonna try to play on our emotions like they've done before. We still got to look at the orders in place that actually had the 80-90% approval rating, right? Because those, at the end of the day, um, are what, in my opinion only, are what really matters to us when we're looking at, black and white, when we're looking at how these things actually affect us in the long run. Not saying that wars don't affect us, but, when we're looking at the things that actually do, the things that he, writes on paper, that's more, uh, more important to people. So, alignment with what he has done that we do agree with, if that makes sense to you.
That makes sense. But my question is, I'm gonna tell you the reason why I say it. Because most folks in New York, they're really smart. They know a scheme, a scam when they see one, right? So that's why they didn't vote him three elections in a row. They knew he was a swindler, right? They knew, the New Yorkers. But for some strange reason, the people in this, I'm from Miami, so I'm talking about myself too, all right? So I'm about to sound, but he was able to swindle the South and the West, Southwest, in order to vote for him, right? They didn't get the people on the East Coast, because the people on the East Coast and West Coast liberal folks, like, they don't believe in nothing he's talking about. He's a scammer. He's a schemer. He's a fast talking schemer, and they fell for it. You see what I'm saying? A person that switched parties 4 to 5. You You just thought it was going to be everybody else, right? That's why people are, yeah, give me the illegal immigrants, give me this person, da-da-da-da. So now people are mad because now they're affected. But what happened when the other people were affected? Y'all didn't care. So it's good. It needs to keep happening because y'all knew it was going to happen, but y'all didn't care enough.
Hey, respect your job. Well,
wait, Ava, before you, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. Before you go, really fast. Does anyone on stage may have? Oh, there we go. Never mind. Go ahead, Ava.
Okay. Yeah, my first. Oh, right. We were talking about how he swindled. So, okay, cool. Yo, how do I say this, right? Because you was talking about how you just switch parties, like, at least like 5 times throughout what a 20-year duration. So, I mean, tell me what somebody's supposed to do. I mean, you're not gonna get 100%. One candidate might be talking, what you want to hear, even though they're on the opposing side, right? So, I mean, like, how is that swindling anybody? like I want to get to like I don't know, maybe I just don't understand like your premise, your point of view, so I'm not conveying my question right. But I do want to know how is he swindling anybody?
Do you believe that politics are manipulations and that most people are being swindled? They just are not willing to accept it. They could point out how everybody else is being swindled, but they don't see that goofy shit that they're involved in. Politics is not about telling truth because it's about power. That means anything goes, man. Anything goes when it comes to power.
Wow, she in love with a murderer.
Murder, lies, fucking trading your soul. That's just the way the game goes, man.
You know, you did? You know what I'm talking about? I think you know what I'm talking about.
You gotta tell some truth. Like, you can't just be lying all the goddamn time. Everybody, what would be the point of lying all the time? You have to tell some truth in order to build a credibility so that your lie works.
Yeah, and I would say the same thing and vice versa. You can't tell the truth 100% of the times, or else you won't be able to get sway public opinion. My bad, I'm tripping up my words because my background language, so you know how I get. But yeah, I mean, who's gonna tell the truth 100% of the time? I just want to know how did he swindle anybody? What was the swindle?
Believing that Kamala wasn't black and she was a fraud.
Oh no, I thought Respect was talking about the president in particular. He said he's driving those, so I'm gonna.
I know that was you. I swear you crack me up. You annoy me at the same time, but you will crack me up. You are effing insane.
It's a little bit like The Boy Who Cried Wolf. You know, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, it works every time. That's the secret about Boy Who Cried Wolf. It works every single time.
Okay? Do not come in here talking slang because you're in here with a group of black people, Edmund. All right, you're gonna get a verbal lashing from me. All right, they're not hip to your games, but I am. All right,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. So there's going to be a population of almost 350 million. I just can't see us really concerned about the 6 to 9 million that ain't in favor of shit. You know what I'm saying? That ain't really even. Yeah, 6 to 9 out of 350. Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, then, that's probably why I don't understand what's going on. So, what y'all talking about with these numbers? Like, what would you attribute to?
Somebody asked a question about the no kings, and it was 6 to 9 million of them across the country. And I said, and I'm basically bringing up the point is that's not even really a number for real. You know, 350 million, people, almost 350 million is 345 to be exact, they say, and counting because babies is born every day. But nonetheless, 6 to 9 million people out of 300, excluding the young ones that can't vote, can't do whatever. That's not a decimal.
Not even.
That is the no. I ain't never heard nothing. It doesn't matter is because it was bought by Walmart.
Yeah,
doesn't matter who the
organic. That's not organic.
But we're in the hold on. Let's back up. Who the fuck says we're in the law book, the rule book, the playbook doesn't say that it has to be organic?
It's not that many people. It's 0.01%. Your numbers are way off.
Yeah, please say something. If it doesn't matter if it's organic, then what the whole point and purpose of the whole underlying message? The funniest thing about it is Walmart was mad at Donald Trump because of the situation of their undocumented workers, because Walmart is the highest employer of the undocumented, mind you. They're mad at the situation of, nah, nigga, you fucking with our niggas. Let our motherfuckers stay. At the end of the day, we are the biggest donor kingpin, and we could be able to put $100 million and fuck you up. So yeah, when I found out that, wait a minute, Walmart was buying this, then I started putting two and two together, something that they don't expect Black Americans to do, and start realizing, oh man, this is illegal immigration. Know that documented. So yeah, it's not. None of this shit's organic, and it do matter if it's organic. Like doing this to front off Donald Trump, that don't mean shit. I swear to God, that don't mean shit. Because that same thing with the BLM shit, where you got George Soros paying for that shit. $10 billion was raised, and not a grunt went to the Black community. Like, stop it, bro. Like,
and Warren Buffett too.
Black communities, if anything, Black community damn politicians, lying these goddamn political parties. Thank you.
How much is going to the Black community now that George Soros is not a thing?
George Soros is a thing. He's not a thing just because you say he's not a thing. He a thing.
No, Sean. I was Sean to answer.
Yeah, what happened?
George Soros is not a thing anymore. We're not talking about him anymore. So Trump and his...
He's a large donor, man. What are you talking about? He don't matter. Like his son on the West Coast.
Wait. Let me finish my question. Trump is in office. So now that they're in office and they're doing their thing, so how much of the funds you think that George Soros supposed to have been given to the Black people? Is Trump's people doing the same thing right now? Are they giving to Black people as we speak right now because they're in power and they have whatever they got going on? Are they giving to Black people right now?
I mean, we don't have. What was the question directly? Cause I had to get some food.
What is the Trump doing specifically for Black folks in America? Please do not bring up the what do you call it, the Take Act, because not everybody's in prison, so that's not a thing.
But so, you said, what has he done to help the Black community?
Yeah, specifically to help Black people.
Not everybody was getting shot by the police, but we was out there marching about that shit.
Thank you. Like, when immigration has opened up positions.
No, Sean.
The immigration, you said, no. Don't ask me man, now you're trying to police how I answer it now? You asked me the question. I'm about to answer it. When it comes to the situation, I've seen Black men personally that was able to get construction and truck it, something that I could actually shake hands and actually talk to. The brother that I actually had to pick up the food for, he actually got because of opening up of the immigration crackdown. So when it comes to the Black community, it's based on sections. No different how when Black people say, well, Trump cut the government jobs. Well, not everybody got a government job. So we could do that same little game that you played of not everybody in prison. But yeah, the Democrats was the one that mass incarcerated niggas.
Truckers either, so or construction. So I'm talking about as a whole.
Well, respectfully, dude, you're a Haitian, sir. So you're a border hopper anyway.
We're talking about
border hopper.
Let's talk the facts. So we are talking about an industry that has an 8 million job gap in the labor market, construction and trades. 8 million job gap. That's what the illegal immigration was for. So any There's jobs for about 20% of Black America. If we only make up 13% of America, we think we're worthy of legislation, and 13% means something. So if we're getting 20% of our community potentially jobs, then that should mean something.
Yeah, man, since people want to get disrespectful, God bless you, Sean. Just remember I said that to you. Thank you.
You shouldn't ask, what is Trump doing for Black America? You should ask, what is Black America doing for America?
You know what?
Well, then that's an honest question. Because let me just tell y'all this right now. We're going to play a game. Y'all know I like to play.
That is a good question, King.
Right? Okay. I'm going to answer that question. This game we're about to play right now is called I Am White Supremacy. So everybody in here today, for the next 3 minutes, you are a card-carrying member of Nazi Party USA. You are anti-nigger. Now, if anybody was to ask you, how could you have such extreme views against the Black community? What would you say as a white person to back up your views? Somebody chime off the mic and be honest, keep it real with me. Why don't you like niggers?
Because them niggers is lazy.
All right, that's another reason why you don't like niggers.
They're never happy. They're always complaining about the pay. We give them the best of health cares. We give them all these extra benefits, and they still not happy.
What about those colored gangs? What about those colored gang members out there shooting and killing each other? Does that scare you when you see it in your city?
Oh yeah, they're always killing shit.
The reason I don't like Black people is because I'm afraid they might.
You gotta call them niggers. You gotta call them niggers, or we're gonna take your Ku Klux Klan.
Them niggers ain't kill us though, Stephen.
No, them niggers.
Nigger Umar Johnson, every time he sees a nigger trying to talk to one of our daughters, he jumps in the middle of it. So I actually like the nigger Umar Johnson. He's trying to tell these niggers the right thing, gonna save their ass a little trouble. All right? Come around Jimmy Ray's house, try to talk to one of Jimmy Ray's daughters. I'm gonna make sure you meet this 30-06. And I ain't talking about that pussy ass gun they shot Charlie Kirk with either. This will take your goddamn head clean off.
Although we are hoarders, them niggas sure know how to bring some rats and roaches to the neighborhood.
Well, now, you know, white man, we ain't too goddamn opposed to a little bit of some beasts or creatures. We're goddamn beasts or goddamn selves, son. You can miss me with the rats and the roaches. They was there before the niggers got there. I'll keep it 100 like the niggers say.
And they litter. Every time I see them at the light, they litter at the light.
So that you could get into first grade, and then push along so that you could get into second grade, and so on, going up and up. And then you went to high school, and this was a great transition.
About like David Duke said something. See, it's niggers that don't like because the niggers follow behind the dirty, rotten Jews. He said the Jews came here with the Italianos and they started organized crime rings that bribed American lawmakers. Taxpayers suffer for the money we have to spend on those damn organized crime.
I feel pretty much the same as I
Now here come the niggers.
I'm not so sure
all this time later. Now they want to be Gambinos. Listen to these niggers right now. You didn't see it. They're trying to be the Jews.
When you went
but the niggers don't understand the Jews are here for us too.
And kindergarten, the idea was
it's communism and this NAACP, it ain't gonna work for them. But they don't see it. They don't understand. These niggers don't understand why their families are all fucked up. Well, goddamn, as soon as Martin Luther King came around and got a goddamn pen in Johnson's hand, you niggers ain't been the same since.
Apparently, but Biggie and Tupac ain't good poetry for the soul. And so what we're trying to say is that if 40 million African Americans can complain, they can also not complain. And when you do not complain, you have solved all the problems, because most of the complaints are just personal hypnoses. And unfortunately, you ain't gonna get reparated for no complaint. There ain't never been a time in history where a complaint ever been reparated. And so what I'm trying to say is be creative in your own personal life. This room is creative. And even pretending to be a card-carrying KKK neo-Nazi as a Black American, that's creative. And this is funny. And all I got to say is if this was commercially viable and up on YouTube and X and Instagram and other platforms, well, maybe people would like it. They say, what the fuck is that shit about? You're confusing people. And that's creative.
Yeah,
Kenny was speechless.
He don't know what to say to that shit.
He channeled an actual plan.
But the funniest part about it is, respectfully, the Black community, not Black community, the Black Democrat community, they act like they don't acknowledge the fact that Robert Byrd had a eulogy. That was Joe Biden's big homie. Hell, even Obama was there. So that's why I said all this shit is performative when it comes to liberals, especially like the nigga in the chat, Christian, talking about, well, a political party against your existence. Nigga, their whole model is kill the baby. Kill it. Kill it. That's their whole mantra. Suppress your damn population where you become politically irrelevant. Then when you have the Humbrito, the Mexican,
Is that true, the troll?
Nigga, Maria gonna have 5 kids by the end of this goddamn decade, by 2031. God damn it, 18 million illegals become 52 million.
Hold on. Jays, they be getting them haircuts now where they almost look like a nigga from the side. A fade be better than your fade. Got a nigga looking in the mirror like, what the fuck going on here now? That nigga got on a Bulls jersey, some J's, and some jeans. The kids got on all the latest Nike, all the latest fashion. The little baby be in the goddamn stroller. 5 months, 100 pounds, with fat wrists and gold chains. You know them goddamn little Mexican babies be having them little gold little bracelets. Y'all seen them? They be having a gold little Mother Mary, Virgin Mary around their neck. They got gold, and they only be one.
Well, like Nye said, you just got to be good. And the last chapter of the good book says, be a saint. And, Cesar Chavez, that guy with the grape pickers in the Union, he was a rapist. And he was practicing mind control. But Larry Hoover was also practicing mind control. And that motherfucker a rapist too. And so the point is, be good. And in a word, be a saint. Hello?
I'm scared now. I don't know what to say.
Oh, God. Kitover, you are insane.
No, it sounds like the cat they used to be on here, and it sounded like Gilbert Godfrey. You remember the dude that used to sound like Gilbert Godfrey on here?
Hey, come on, man. Hey, buddy.
That's what Universe sounded like for a minute. Man, you killed me with that one right there. Golly. But the point I'm trying to make is, family, is that there are legitimate reasons and how our
this just got to be gold, right?
Our intents in the wrong direction. You do it in the face of the truth. And the right wing Americans, right? Largely, these are the same group of people who fought off tyranny in the first place in the Civil War. But see, these crackers don't even know their history. Where are your allies, Black America? Where are the allies that your great grandparents had as slaves? They couldn't speak the King's English the way you Negroes can. They didn't have the education that you have. They didn't have the resources that you had. But somehow they were able to get white people to pick up arms and go to fight against their own brethren over you. See, this is the greatest moment in American history that we don't talk about. It's the Civil War. Nobody knows shit about the Civil War. I could walk around with $1 million in Black America and tell me, name me 3 battles in the Civil War. Motherfuckers couldn't do that. They don't know about Appomattox. You know what I mean? They don't know about the massacre of those soldiers in Tennessee that voluntarily gave up and were then slaughtered. For us to do what the brother of the universe is saying, complain. We only use the Civil War in order to complain. We only use civil rights in order to complain, but we truly don't know the history of either one of those. That's why I did the Civil Rights on Ice lecture. Because what I realized is that ever since about 1967, Black people's civil rights have been on ice. Ever since they added sex to affirmative action policies, this shit has been downhill ever since. Why? Because Black people are out here fighting for a policy that overwhelmingly benefits the dominant white society. It benefits the very mothers and daughters and sisters and wives of white supremacy that you niggas say you're fighting against. But you promote and push a policy as policy number one, as policy du jour, that literally benefits white women, which make up 50.8% of America according to the 2020 census. They are the only statistical majority in this motherfucker. This is basic common sense math. And everybody who runs across that motherfucker damn near can qualify to be one of you. But this is your backbone of your political apparatus. You're the children of Dr. King politically. We act like Dr. King got killed in 08, not 68, because we haven't moved a motherfucking inch politically since then in any different direction. Even though you can go and look in the decade immediately following the 1964 Civil Rights Act, and you'll see some of the most radical Black political thinking of our time. Let me say that again. And if you want to say woke, Black political body, they called it the Black Power movement. Are y'all? They saw it in real time. You know, we live in what's called revisionist history. And Black people's psychology, the very psychology of the Black community, is built on revisionist history. Someone else revising the history in order to shape your consciousness in such a way to limit and manipulate your possibilities, and thereby manipulating your consciousness and manipulating your possibilities, they've manipulated your political power.
The solution is always spiritual.
The 1960s Black political constituency would have absolutely went and talked to Trump. They would have went and talked to Kamala. They'd have went and talked to Trump. They'd have went and talked to, because they weren't yoked to any of these parties. We live in the era where now we only one party on one side. And then we talk about the Republicans are racist. Well, hell, I'd be racist to your Black ass too if you abandon our party. their political adversary that they've been fighting since the Civil War that wanted to keep you niggas enslaved.
But see, parties change and, parties evolve and the party keeps going. A lot of people think the party stopped, but the party's still going right now.
So the point is, family, you gotta ask yourself, why are we today practicing mostly what you would call civil rights sit-in, boycott, protest politics? Why are we still practicing that form of, and brand of politics when in the immediate decade after, they didn't view it with the same nostalgia that we view it with? And that's because those brothers and sisters actually lived through it. They didn't have to go Google the situation. They lived in it. They knew it. They talked about it. It was a conversation. This was their Black America, right? And so because they understood that this is the reason why Martin Luther King was what do you mean walked them into a burning building? The burning building, ladies and gentlemen, that Martin Luther King was talking about was the Democrat Party. That was the burning building. And why did he call it that? It was a burning building if the Democrat vice president is a part of the assassination and benefits from the assassination of the Democrat president dies in the home city of the Democrat vice president. The Democrat vice president then becomes the president and then enacts legislation that absolutely shapes America still to this day. Let me just say that again. They didn't just kill any president at any time. They killed Kennedy in the time of X. They killed Kennedy in the time of King. They killed Kennedy before X and before King. Right? And so we literally had a coup d'etat in America. America. It doesn't appear to be the racist America that we even have today. More Republicans voted per capita for the civil rights legislation than Democrats did. And a pretty decent number of Democrats did as well. 53, 60% to the 80 some odd percent of the Republicans. But you find me an issue politically today that you could put before your Congress and you could get 50 to 60% of the Democrats and 80% of the Republicans to vote on. Well, shit. Your news cycle would look different. It wouldn't be a bunch of Republicans blaming shit on Democrats and Democrats blaming shit on Republicans. It'd be a whole bunch of Republicans on TV calling out to the Democrats. I call out to my Democrat constituents to reconsider the matter. I call out to my Republican. See, this was an actual body politic. With Kennedy and that bullet that took him out, changed the American landscape forever. It would be different if LBJ and drove a steak knife through Black America. Now, mind you, the 1964 Civil Rights Act, 1964 was an election year, ladies and gentlemen, meaning that the election wasn't until October.
But the truth always comes out. And the truth about Kennedy, about his death, that truth is out. It was the Pentagon, it was the CIA, it was LBJ. And the truth is that George W. Bush Sr. is dead. And Donald Rumsfeld is dead. And Richard Nixon, he dead. And Kissinger, he dead. And then one day, everybody gonna die. And then J.D. Vance is gonna be gay. And Marco Rubio is gonna be the president.
Sounds like he's a Nostradamus predictor. What is he, Nostradamus? He's predicting this?
Well, when I say the N-word, most people confuse it with the other N-word. I mean Nostradamus.
Well, Kamala Harris is gearing up to run again, and her campaign will be mostly anti-Trump rhetoric. That's going to be her campaign. How horrible Trump has been. That's the only point that she's going to campaign with.
That's all she needs. You know that, right?
That's called tickling the clit.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
The only way I'm voting for her is if she talking about reparations. Other than that, hell,
I'm not going to give anything specific for black people. No.
When she run again, you Negroes are going to be running to the polls to vote her back into office.
You do realize if there is reparations, there's going to be lawsuits because it's unconstitutional.
reparations. She ain't get my vote. Not her with her white husband. Yeah.
In Evanston, Illinois, there are 300 African Americans in Evanston that are already getting reparations. They've gotten $40,000 each from cannabis sales tax. It's so ridiculous. The people that are getting it are not even connected in any way remote. And the ID verification, the history, it's all bullshit. How the fuck do you verify that you are qualified or your lineage, etc.? What do you got, a fucking history book? Most of it, these people barely got papers.
If you black, you should get it. It don't matter. All the other shit don't matter because the discrimination was for all black people. It wasn't just for the ex-slaves or whoever. So we was all being discriminated against. Jim Crow, redlining, all that bullshit. We all deserve reparations.
Even if that's true,
reparations are for slavery. The enslavement, the free labor. It's not about
reparations for mistreatment of black people.
No. Look, I mean, look, both of y'all. Like, hold on.
Slavery too. Like,
maybe
a little extra, but yes, be reparations for Jim Crow laws, reparations for discrimination, and reparations for
redlining, eminent domain, all of that shit. But look, make that no, nigga. That's why. That respectable time, but for shit like eminent domain, in which a lot of the motherfuckers wasn't even over here for, up in the 50s, shit, even until damn, I can't even remember. Fuck that, it don't matter.
Even mass incarceration, like we should get reparations.
The massacres up in the early 1900s.
Yeah,
you could.
The Red Summer of 1919.
I muted you so one person can talk at a time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's on King now because he was just going to go into what I was going to start talking about.
Yeah, but yeah, if she have a because nobody talked about reparations last time. Like I didn't like that shit. If she talk about reparations and have a plan for it and put it on the table, then I'll look at her. If she don't mention it, I ain't voting. But then again, if J.D. Vance, if he say
You think reparations, every black person in America should get reparations? Like, what kind of OG cookies?
But I don't care what. But they still got to talk about reparations to get my vote. They got to say, I got a plan to have reparations or to, work it out. I'm going.
They don't got no. They'll never have any plans for that.
They'll never have my vote. I'm never voting again. So.
See, the problem is one complaint can turn into 1,000 complaints. Next thing you know, you got the J words all saying, well, there was racism against the J words, the WASPs. They controlled everything. So one complaint turns into 10,000 complaints. And then you got a Chinese person, and then you got a South Korean and a Vietnamese, and then you got other peoples that are going to complain too and say, what about us? Especially the Native Americans who were genocided and the whole goddamn country was taken from them. So you think a couple casinos for a few billion is enough when the African American
is hilarious.
But for all of them communities that you just named, all got reparations for whatever the fuck it is that they went through. So they can't come back and ask for more, even though a whole nother demographic is asking for what they never got in the first fucking place. But once again, we can't advocate for reparations for slavery if that was even the case, right? We would have been got that shit 80 fucking years ago when they first started. We would have been got that shit. They don't want to give it to you motherfuckers because not all of you niggas can prove that y'all was enslaved, for one. For two, y'all can't, fuck it, I'm gonna put me up in there. We can't all agree upon one fucking moniker that we could go under, whether it be FBA. So I like Solani. Y'all niggas call me Solani. You just said it.
You said you like what?
Solani. Everybody come up with their own title. So what if somebody
Solani?
Solani.
Like
Hello?
Solani, but Solani?
Kind of like that. I'm about to put it up in the chat.
Listen, I want to ask for
We got on the reparations talk, but I'm gonna just throw my little 2 cents in there and say this: if the survivors of Tulsa could not get reparations, and I know there's a lot of people that want to argue the way in which shit was worded, and they filed for the wrong shit, and all this weird shit, whatever. I don't know why anybody would ever think lot some shit from over 100 plus years ago, but that's either here or there.
What about the Republican veterans that died in the Civil War and the hundreds of thousands of their descendants? Why can't they get a little bit of that cheddar? Hello?
It's interesting. The Jews are the only ones that get reparations and they didn't work for it. But yet, the black people, they worked hard, they built the country, they were spit on, they were abused, used and abused. They don't get nothing. But these Jews, they're getting left and right money in Israel. They got retirement, free.
Yeah. So unless they talk about it, then I don't even see why we should vote anymore. Let's just focus on, whoever wins. Let's just make the best out of it, and let's just focus on, getting money and making babies and staying out of jail.
Oh Lord.
Man, baby, there's so much you gotta learn, brother. Hey, stick around, bro. There's a lot of great people up in here. Sue, Stephen, Hakeem, Nye, King, of course, because this is room stuff. My brother Sean down there. Matter of fact, this motherfucker on the side of me, Universe, is actually
cooking. I'm cooking. If you don't vote, that means you don't know who rules you. If you don't know who rules you, well, then you a low-informed voter.
Literally. Even though
I agree. He is nutty as hell, but I agree.
Nutty as a goddamn payday.
Yeah, he's funny. Y'all gotta listen. He's funny.
But niggas don't want to do, matter of fact, Americans in general don't want to do what it takes to have a fucking revolution. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's because we don't like redundancy. We already had a revolution. We had 2 revolutions, and we are in the 3rd revolution. But the truth is, philosophy and politics are intertwined. If you want to know politics, you got to know philosophy.
Man, my philosophy is if it don't get done one way, you're going to get it done the other way.
And that's on period. But here's the thing. See, there will come a time You're either going to get with people who are like-minded and build, or you're going to succumb to the rules. Was beautiful. That was predominantly black-owned businesses. And that dynamic is changed, right? And that dynamic changed by design. Yes, niggas didn't have to pick up the crack bag or the crack pipe, but or the gun. But there's no other demographic that has been targeted like the demographic to which I belong. None other.
Steph, you in the Matrix, baby. The demographic war is real, as someone has said earlier. When Senorita Maria has 8 children, and now the Black American is a minority, well, then you're going to complain just like how the Palestinians are complaining or the Jews are complaining, because it's a demographic war, and you know it. And when you lose the majority, you become the inferior minority. Ain't that the fact? Hello?
Piece, and we just gonna see what happens.
Yeah, no, raise your IQ level before you do that, but I'm not opposed to you doing that. Hey, so he actually kind of right in the sense it's just not putting it into the right context. Yo, like I was saying up in this room before, I think it was this room, kids bring wealth whether we know it or not. Reason why, there's a lot of women, and I'm not gonna put that on, just any woman, but there's a lot of women out here that is having children because they understand the benefit from it. Now, granted, right? Look, oh damn, where the fuck this nigga go? I want to say this shit for him specifically, but fuck it, put it on. Look, we in a losing battle. Why? Because we're not having that many children nowadays. The dominant society, they're kind of regressing.
This is probably the worst
with their population
quote, and I'm gonna think of a better one right? In like 5 seconds. But the only thing that comes to mind is
y'all see what I'm saying?
Chuck Bass
but
answering
do you know
the phone.
why people are not having?
Look at that. Like that has to be reviewed. Women no longer really want to do this thing alone. They want to be a partner. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to find a way where we can mend that, bridge that gap to encourage people to want to have children.
He was a father figure. Well, not even a matter of comparison. I couldn't say how bad he was. He struck me as being a person who you could like if you got to know. I dare say very few people knew him. I'm sure you can find every corner somebody who was had the confidence of Daddy, who talked to Daddy, who Daddy leaned on. I mean, they're all in the woodwork. Most of them, this just wasn't true. Very few people knew this man. He was a loner. When you get right down to the most powerful people who have real integrity and real character are loners, they don't spend all their time bouncing around there. They have to pull back and think and reflect and get their battery. And that's true in politics, it's true in art, it's true in science, it's probably true in the entertainment world. And Daddy was of that that group.
Not you trying to start a gender war.
No, I'm not. That's why I'm trying to be so careful with my words.
He was in a
I don't know
business.
what the fuck I'm trying to say right now, which I
He
can't.
treated me as a business person. We treat people in the business as we treat most people. Nothing personal about it. That's the way he functioned. That's the way he operated. He was the consummate politician. He was the quintessence of the political figure. He was a father figure. Well, he was a man of companionship. I couldn't say that damn city was. He struck me as being a person who you could like if you got to know. I dare say very few people knew him. I'm sure you can find on every corner now somebody who was having the confidence and daily talked to, daily leaned on. I mean, they're always doing work. Most of them, this just wasn't true. Very few people knew this man. He was a loner. Have to prove that.
We could save that economical strategy for a later time.
There's a real showdown shaping up between Mayor Brandon Johnson's allies in the Chicago Teachers Union and the new leader of the public schools. It's over the union's demands for schools to be closed May 1st for a day of protest and activism. I'm WGN-TV investigative reporter Ben Bradley. You might be surprised by some of the union's proposed lesson plans for that day of civic engagement. In addition to the history of May Day and the labor movement, we've reviewed documents being circulated. They include a section on youth organizing against authoritarianism. It also suggests students should be asked to describe what hardships are people in your community facing since Trump was reelected. WGN political editor Tamon Bradley pressed the union.
Increases our wealth, essentially. And you know what? So I want to hear like
the pushback is I'm looking at today's time. I'm looking at men and women not wanting to be married to each other and what the hell that would look like. I'm looking at this whole poly quote unquote epidemic and how women are not really in favor of that a lot of men today are trying to pick up on and trying to implement here that their women don't want here. So I'm looking at all these different dynamics and I'm just saying it sound good. You know, I'm on board with you because I think I've said something similar to that not too long ago. I agree with that. It's not that I disagree with you, but I'm looking at today's time and I'm saying never gonna make it.
Okay. And great aunties, a lot of them at that quantity of great uncles and great aunties from y'all great granddads back then. That's married to these women that they having your great uncles and great aunties from.
Of course, we can say that we found that, but it's at the end of the day, you know, that family structure is important. If we're not gonna, you know, I don't care about if people choose to just, you know, have their own contract or if they choose to go, you know, do it in the system. By all means, your choice, right? But the fact that it's not happening, the fact that there's so much pushback on it, and the fact that people is telling us to go make all these goddamn children them, but don't want to be committed to. And then to top it off, they want to bring another party into that situation. You know, it's just weird out here. It's very weird. It's going to make it even worse because then that's going to continue the conversation about, you know, you should have chose better and all these babies and all these, man, please, don't nobody want to hear that shit.
I mean, I think it's all relative. Like, yeah, we do both, and I'm posting this to both genders. We got shit better, right? Because we know motherfucking ain't shit before we even lay down and have kids. And this coming from a nigga with no kids right now. I didn't have a lot of scares and shit, right? I knew who I was laying down with, and I knew I did not want kids. Like, they do the same. Now look, one thing I agree on is the timing, right? So I feel like we as black people, so to say, black Americans, whatever you want to call us, I feel like we gotta dominate the industry first before we even have a population, right? Because then that will fix what you're talking about. Well, half.
These are big topics. These are big concepts. But at the personal level, the individual level, in terms of self-improvement, meditation, or just relaxing and, having no thought, that's the truth of the earth. We are living in a culture and a society where we put the self down. We constantly are essentially, we're racist against the self. We are prosecuting and we are bigoted against what is the self. So all I'm trying to say is, baby, that the perfect way to optimize for yourself and for your country and for the earth is meditation. What is meditation? Can you teach me a class on meditation? If you can do that, baby, you are the earth. Hello, this is universe.
Hello. I got you. My brother. So, Avo, how do the Negro Americans and the American Indians, how do we align these two groups?
Shit. We having one of those discussions. King, I'm gonna bow out gracefully only because it's not gonna get anywhere. Like, okay, so even though I identify as who I am, right? You identify as who you are. It don't fucking matter because we're all in the same fucking category at this very time right now, right? And so the OMB come out and give us our own classifications, whether if you consider yourself FBA or whatever fuck it might be on the census or like these government documents later on for you to identify. It don't even matter, bro. We all up in the same boat right now.
All over now. Hey, put your money on the table. Get back here.
Well, let's identify the interest, right? You as a you consider yourself FBA.
I can just do whatever I want to.
Oh, goddamn, man, does that hurt?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. And your whole premise is reparations, right? Restitution, restoration.
This is Mr. Sigmund Freud.
How the hell do you do this to yourself, Frank?
Well, who else could I do it to? I mean, none of them.
No, I'm saying, what is your mission right now? What do you got set out to do right now?
Houdini Jr. here, better he can free himself.
You can't align with the Native American billionaire casino owners unless you at the boardroom, baby. You got
incorrectly. And so we've got to correct our commerce. That is the black beauty supply industry.
The black beauty supply industry. Who owns the black beauty supply industry, baby? That's the bank, baby.
Yeah, King, you do gotta kind of come closer to your mic.
Yeah, you real cool. I can't hear you.
Is that better?
Yeah, a tad bit.
Is that better?
Yeah, not really, but we can hear you.
So I'm saying the thing is that we gotta have the black beauty and the commerce game changed. The black church is giving billions of dollars away to white Jewish banks. The black beauty supply model is one that's owned by outside interests. The blacks in construction that I push and promote with We Are the Builders would go back into these communities and actually build the infrastructure with the banking system that I have designed, where black churches would be primarily sponsors and beneficiaries of the good work of banks that don't allow the communities around them to gentrify because your members are there. These churches have to work exponentially harder to get members to come in and keep the church up and running when they're in a city like Atlanta or Memphis or Dallas, etc. And the traditional black community that existed in the east side, the south side, or whatever it is, has now been displaced and now that area has been gentrified. So, additionally, when we talk about the procurement of contracts, like we are here talking about this minority game, you know, we've got to actually delineate
What's going
to
on
a degree
today?
that we separate ourselves from other groups of people. That I'm on. I'm trying to get black people to stop calling themselves minorities. Stop looking at these motherfucking racist Republicans as if they're any better or worse than these fucking liberal Democrats. And for people to understand that, yeah, there's a history that we don't know. You may be connected to you may be connected to somewhere else, but go find your roots.
Yeah, you got to go within, or you got to get to the root of the matter in order to solve the situation as best as it can be solved. It's a game theory, baby.
Connected to
Niggas, you trying to translate? But okay, so King, okay, and I'm in agreement with that, and I think that most people who identify with whether they be FBA, American Indian, agree upon the same thing, right? So I mean, you know, as far as like the
It's a game theory, baby.
you said everything that we all fucking align with, regardless of how you identify. Now, you know, annually.
Isn't it by the billions or without millions? Billions or millions, one of the two. Either way, it's up there. It ain't hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, I guess that is probably up in the billions if we got like a $2.some trillion spending power, like collectively as a nation, or as a sub nation within the nation. So I'm not opposed to that, right? Bam. Now, what else? What else can we dominate?
Baby, you could take over the whole fried chicken market in the whole goddamn country if you could get the people organized.
Period. We sure can. Because when you got white people on YouTube talking about they didn't taste some chicken and said all of a sudden they're black, you sure can.
So culinary, like food. Okay, cool. And you know what? That's definitely feasible. There's gonna be a lot of curveballs, a lot of obstacles, a lot of fucking hurdles to jump over, right? Defunding. A lot of shit gonna get defunded. I mean, shit, we see it up in our inner cities every day. I was just talking to somebody on Facebook within Minneapolis, right, asking about why a lot of our inner city schools don't have the funding that these schools on the outskirts have, right? So we know why that is. So what I'm saying is, instead of just focusing on one, two, even a few, we got to focus on at least 10.
Now, I could be exaggerating that number, right? But this is just how I see it. We got to focus on 10 because once one become compromised, then we got the other to fall back on. Once another become compromised, we got the other one to fall back on. Shit, we need to just even figure out a way to start creating industries in order for us, since we're
with a large hotel group talking to the bank that owns the mortgages. The point is, everybody's just working for the bank at the end of the day. So until Black America has their own bank, you can't have a conversation with yourself. So, again, I'm just saying that if you want to know the truth of the earth, the more you think, the more you speak, the further from the truth you're going to get, baby.
I'm glad he said that because we actually do have a black bank. I wonder how many of us actually utilize it, though.
Well, then the problem is awareness. That's a big problem there. So, and I ain't opposed to what he's saying. I actually agree, right? Because that was a key thing that was missing. But how do you even get to 1 second? Hold on.
What's it called? United One Bank. It's the largest black-owned bank.
Scale, but you got to have relationships to get that money, and you got to report back to the bank and say, this is how we grew your money, baby.
Hey, damn, my bad. Where we left off at because I had to talk to one of my coworkers.
Brother Steven's about to say something.
No, I was just saying that I had put some money into that black bank. What is it, First United Bank or whatever it was? I went online. I put some money in there. But then they started. Sorry.
See, Brother Steven, you don't be giving things a chance. How long this One United Bank been around for? And don't it take a little time for them to build up and all that stuff?
Yeah, it's been around for a while. But, it's a black bank in name, but, it's still controlled by white folks. Of course, the banking industry is controlled by white people, so they can't get around that. The regulations. But, I always tried to support black businesses. And I went down that, did that, but they weren't supporting me. They was ripping me off. That's what I thought. Black business. But, good concept.
Like I wasn't doing nothing with it, Rip.
I did the same thing. I did the black bank. I put some money in here and let me see what it do. You know, but I didn't. If it didn't do anything, I would have been okay. But they gonna take my money.
Same. I would have left it in there.
Yeah, but they're taking my money.
Yeah, but Steven, look at it this way. It's just like Clubhouse. Some people get paid for content. Some people are the content. Some people don't get paid for their content. And some people will spend their whole life listening to content and never get paid for it. Hello?
Yeah. What the fuck? As long as I ain't gotta pay for the content, I'm cool though. Cause I don't like being content, so I don't even want to get paid for content. I just want to be entertained for free.
Absolutely.
Well,
Why should we have to pay for content?
That charges him money. It's the same principle of content. Paying for it, getting it for free. Or there are people that get paid for their content. How the fuck does that miracle happen? Hello?
Yeah, I was commercial, but I don't care to get entertained for so many hours. And you know, you niggas.
I get it, but that's the food chain, baby, because this app, the owners are getting paid for the content that we are creating for them right now. We are the field workers, working for the white man in the White House on the plantation. This goddamn app is the new plantation.
I agree, man. As long as I start a revolution universe, man. Let's get
the plantation. Why you still on? The plantation. Why you still on?
Because he's waking up the slave.
One of us.
He is one of us, but you know, in every slave plantation, there gotta be that one woke slave that wakes up everybody so we can revolt.
I mean, slaves don't have the opportunity to get paid. Y'all got the opportunity to get paid on here. Y'all just not utilizing it right. But let's relate what you saying to real life, Baghdaddy. You just want to be entertaining. That's most people's fucking problem, right? Not saying it's a problem with you. I'm not trying to attack you. I just want to, address what you're saying. Fuck my background loud. Hold on.
Yeah, but can I pay for everything? That's the fucking issue. Some things you don't deserve to get paid for. If you talking on Clubhouse all day, why the fuck you need to get paid, man? Who the fuck are you, nigga? You don't need to get paid.
Well, if you
everyone wants to get paid now. What are you doing? Who are you?
If you're generating revenue for an app and you're
nobody knows who the fuck you are. You just chat shit. Not only that, there's random people coming here and everybody's having a discussion. So that's why people are entertained. If you really have a talent of creating content, then you will go on platforms where you could actually make money. Like, for example, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, these places. And we're gonna see what market really values that. But the reality, people on Clubhouse ain't really that talented. Avo.
No, I highly doubt that. I mean, I highly disagree with that. Wait, hold on, I got you. Because there's a lot of people. Matter of fact, Rack 100 is probably like the most notable person on here who should be getting paid for his content.
He follows me, but he has his own platform.
That's what I'm. Yeah, he got his own platforms. He utilizing his brand and putting it upon a app where he gets paid, and he putting it across a couple of apps. Now, if you don't have a brand and you don't
Nobody forced you to be on Clubhouse, right? That's the thing, bro. You chose to come on Clubhouse, and now you're demanding to get paid. No, fuck off. Go somewhere where you can get paid. That's how I look at it. Not everything you should be paid for, bro. Especially content. Everybody wants to be a content creator. I mean, but a lot of people are not that talented to be a content creator.
I have to agree. 50-50. People don't be having talent to be getting paid for shit. But then again, there are some people that should be getting paid.
It's not true. Everyone here who can speak English has the capability to actually get paid for intelligent communication. That means you have to open a book and read poetry. If you were to do that, it would actually liberate you personally, and you'd be transmitting very high-value conversation communication. Now, hold on one second. Listen to this. At this point in 2026, if you've been on this app for a few years, you have heard in every different way. There will be no new conversations on this app. Every second you spend here is 1 second lost to spam. There can be no new conversations. Admit it. Who here thinks there could be a new conversation that would pique their interest and say, God damn, that was a great conversation? No, everybody here has already heard every bullshit argument and debate that could possibly be had. So, if you want to bring something new into the communication, go get a poetry book, a good one. Go get a stoic meditation book, a good one. Get a good book and just read it on here to people, because what's the fucking point? This app is like an audio book. So the point is you have to create it. But the easy way to do it is to grab a book. Hello?
People don't want to read. They too lazy. That's the messed up thing, bro. People need to be reading, but shit, it's not convenient. Even if you do audiobooks, shit,
topics to these new topics, but it's always gonna be something to talk about, bro. All I'm saying is, if the app is giving out money, right, for those who do have the talent and do have the brand to capture a lot of people, why not capitalize on it? That's all I was saying to Alpha before he left. Because what he was saying to me didn't just make sense. He mad because motherfuckers is making money off of an app.
Well, there's two variables. There's the spectrum, which is what the app does, which is aggregating large numbers and selling the data to data brokers who then sell it to the government. And so this app is a surveillance capital app. And there's no ads here. And the gold coin feature here is bullshit. It's stupid. Now, ain't nobody here walked away with $200 yet from this stupid gold coin fucking marketing scheme, which nobody gives a shit about. And nobody gives a shit about Plus, because nobody wants to pay for content. But everybody wants to get paid for content, but nobody getting paid for the content. That's why this app
and I'm not paid off Clubhouse. I don't think I'm doing anything that fucking valuable. I don't think you niggas is doing anything valuable either. So, I mean, I'm just being entertained. And I know somebody's gonna get rich off it, probably the creators and the people who, spent the money and made the app and spent the time and cultivating it and promoting it and etc. And those are the people who should get paid. But
look what you did, Avo. It's your fault.
Yeah, like
I'll take blame.
I don't care, that much about getting paid off of this shit.
Thank you.
Yeah. We was talking about the banking system, and I wanted to hear about that, right? Because I'm not too versed into banking. I'm not too versed into APRs and YPAs, all this extra shit. So I kind of wanted to hear.
seconds to live on average. How much did you get paid per second of your life? It's not per hour. per month or per year, baby. You got 2.5 billion seconds to spend. How are you going to spend your billions? Hello?
It makes sense when you talk to me, bro, because I don't know what you're talking about.
That was as clear as it's going to get, Ava.
Okay, all right. Look, try to, because I'm a little slow when it comes to this, right? Just bear with me. Like, explain it like explain it like as if I was the fifth grader.
Well, because I Googled how many hours, you live on average, and then I got the seconds, and it is about 2.5 billion. So everybody's born with 2.5 billion seconds to spend on average. It's like that movie with Justin Timberlake. So the thing about money is people think like once you have everything you need, you actually don't need money anymore. And then you realize money is at a certain point, it stops being money and it becomes communication. And that's what the Federal Reserve and that's what the banks do. They don't make anything. They are recipients of information. They are upstream, and everybody else who borrows from the banks and has mortgages has to communicate with the bank and confirm the situation and make sure the payments are flowing. So anyways, I'm just trying to say that for everybody here personally, in terms of your experience or your happening, I have filled my house with books and I could read to you poetry right now. You could play music. You could drink wine. You could have fun. This app, though, unfortunately, because of all the political polarization and spam communication, ruins your experience. You need to be Michael Jackson in this life. You need to try to play music. If you don't have musical instruments, save up the money, baby.
I get what you're saying all in all, but in relations to the banking.
Well, it's word control. If you have a complaint against white people controlling the banks, you're complaining that they control the definitions of words. And that's the truth of the earth. That's the law. He who determines what the word means is the one who controls the outcome of the situation. If you trans and you're trying to change into a different adjusted gross income and you want to get in the cum, well, my friends here on Clown House, this is your personal development moment and opportunity. You don't need to go to Harvard philosophy. You don't need to go to Brown Law. You can pick up a book and just read it here on this app instead of listening to people talk for years. That audiobook sucks. You have to create your own audiobook if you want to change your situation. It's called using the brain to improve the brain. That's the value of the brain. Hello?
Damn, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like,
detected.
Like, goddamn.
He didn't lie about nothing he said.
Nah, he probably did. I just don't understand him. How do y'all socialize?
I understood him.
Man, somebody make it plain to me, bro. Like, this
he sound like King 3.0.
Facts. Yeah, he lost me at get in the cum. Like, man.
Because you was worried about the wrong shit over here, Mr. I want 100 motherfucking kids. You was worried about the wrong shit. You wasn't paying attention to the other shit.
Exactly. We had a core message and you guys are distracted, bro. That's the problem.
That's true, baby. If you're going to have a kid, that's going to take away from your opportunity for your brain to educate your brain. However, if you got a kid and you ain't reading a book to your kid, well, then you are stupid. The point is, a book is the liberation that you are looking for. Ain't no horse, ain't no dog, ain't no cat, no chicken gonna give you the liberation that a goddamn book can. And if you think God can liberate you, well, where the fuck do you think God lives? He lives in a goddamn book. Hello.
Wow.
And so do the devil.
It's a white guy talking like this. What's going on here?
The devil live in a book.
For all of y'all saying he's speaking facts, bro, tell me the core of what he's saying there. But before y'all do, though, man, our ancestors. Wait, hold on. Our ancestors was working off the damn land and didn't know how to read a damn thing, bro, and they was striving. So what? Come on, bro.
That's not true.
It's not the argument you're making.
Okay, not all of ours, but
it will your argument, man.
The physical system of mathematics, a systematic system of astrology. We taught the fucking white man how to live. We gave the Greeks their alphabet.
It's muffled stuff.
I know this. I'll be out of here in about 15 minutes.
No, we can hear you now. Just quickly say what you just said. I actually want to know.
Our ancestors were scholars. We're at University of Timbuktu. We had the highest
University of Timbuktu?
They taught the Greek alphabet.
So why is this guy able to say people can't read or some shit like that?
Yeah, wait, hold on.
That is not what he said.
Yeah, I ain't talking about we all can't read. I'm talking about there was a lot of us back up in the pre 1900s. So matter of fact, no, the pre 1950s that was working off the land and didn't know how to read. But yeah, my brother Stephen talking about Timbuktu, man. Those ain't your ancestors directly, brother. Like I get what you're saying.
Your ancestors. Don't tell me what my ancestors.
You're right. No,
they're not yours.
I don't, because I really don't know, and you're right. But that ain't all.
You
Stephen,
believe you have
all of us.
You have faith, and I have knowing yet.
No, Stephen, that's probably true for you, but I'm talking about a broad brush stroke. That's not true for all of us. You're right on your end. It's just not true for everybody. But look, that's a whole different topic, though. That's thousands of years ago. What I'm talking about is of recent, like the last.
Well, who's Timbuktu? I actually want to know what that is.
Hold on, Alpha. Let him finish.
I'm talking. Listen, let's go back to what Universe said, because he was cooking in a way, but I just need to understand what the fuck he's talking about. Y'all say that y'all understand. Tell me what the core of what he's talking about.
Well, let's start when he was talking about banks. What did you gather from when he was talking about banks? What did you hear him say?
Communication, and the flow of communication at that.
I would have to concur with that. What you about to say, Brother Stephen?
I'm saying, he's talking about everything's in a book. I don't get it. But I don't know. Is this a black guy? It sound like a white guy.
It's a white guy. He's been in here since we started the room, Brother Stephen, and we was actually engaging with him. King was engaging with him when we started the what was that? When King was asking the question about let's play white supremacy or something like that. Do you remember what he was saying then?
I wasn't looking at the phone, but
okay, so he's been in here since then. We've been laughing and building with him since then.
Yeah, I think man, no, go ahead. No, go ahead, Stephen.
No. I'm still at work. Go ahead.
He basically highlighted the importance of banks and how they basically control everything and how we need to get more involved in the banks. Right, and I said that we actually do have, and then he started to talk about, oh God, give me a second, brain fart.
Brother Stephen said that bank was charging him all kinds of bullshit fees.
Yeah,
so he dumped them motherfuckers. His experience sucked. His Google review was 1 star.
And when you mentioned reading books and stuff, Universe, can you reiterate what you said? Because I can understand the crazy shit. The others can't. I can understand it. Go ahead, say it again.
it's whether you read a book or you listen to an audiobook or you listen to Clubhouse, it's an experience, it's content. So you have to program your contentment. And if you want to change the game, you can't listen to Clubhouse. Clubhouse can't change the game for you. It's the same conversations repeated 1,000 times, 1,000 different ways. If you read a philosophy book, if you study Marcus Aurelius, if you study Epictetus, if you study Plato, if you study Aristotle, programming that you will enjoy because you're basically increasing your large language model. You're, doing what the AI is doing. And the algorithm on this app, it's just like clickbait. It wants to emotionally charge you and gaslight you. And actually, that's what you want, but you have to try to reverse engineer, your personal development. And so this app isn't going to give you what you really want. What the hell
are you talking about?
Hello?
What did you hear him say that's off? That's what I want to know.
I'm just saying,
What
look,
did you hear him say that's off?
you have.
All I hear the nigga saying is educate yourself. And educating yourself on an app full of folks that ain't, on this level, like this room, if they're not talking like how this room talking, you know what I'm saying, then more than likely 100 times.
Bro, all I'm getting from this is we are the commerce that these banks capitalize on. That's kind of what I'm getting from what Universe talking about. On top of like the last part that you said, right? Go read a book now. You know what? No, let me mute my mic right quick.
It's not like he's saying black people need to go read a book. Like I don't.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You know that video game? You ever play that video game where you got like the lightsabers or you got to hit the music notes and you're static, but the river is flowing at you? That's what life is like. We are all walking on a path of seconds, second. And so it's like you're playing a recording. And my point is, Clubhouse is basically an audiobook. But if you go listen to Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, a very good audiobook on YouTube, I can put the link in the chat, and you program yourself on that, and it's just an hour recording, that's the and generally good things happen to you. If you're a bad person, guess what happens? Generally bad things happen to you. So be good, in a word.
The evil always triumphs. Evil always triumphs. They're the mighty, they're the powerful, they're the wicked, they're the evil. Good, underrated. Hey, if you want to get real power, you got to do evil. All right.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I think it's we probably finna get off onto a whole nother topic, but I'm gonna say this and get out the way. Ain't nothing really like truly evil or truly good. You feel me? That's just based upon perception. Now, whatever your moral compass leads you to is wherever it leads you to. I get what Universe is saying. It's all about what's within. But you could be a quote unquote good person, right? All of your actions is good, but your intentions is fucked up. So that's why
Yeah, the banking is a part of liberation, but again, it's just a hierarchy of communication. And if you want to reverse, see, the whole thing deals with personal development. It's not about modifying your destiny or understanding interconnectivity between large organizations and the individual. I'm just trying to say that there are books. I'm going to put a link in a chat. Just listen. It's called the Tao Te Ching. Basically, it's a mystical journey book. And, your life is a journey. This app is part of that journey and experience. But what you listen to matters, because what you listen to is really what you are. You have two ears and one mouth. I'm just saying that there's a program that you can utilize, and I just put the link in the chat. It's a program. You could use the Bible. You could use you could use any.
Because I'm in accounting.
It means they're at the center.
Communicate with these banks, build relationships with these banks, this so we can get what it is that we want from these banks. Is that what you're saying?
I think he's saying I think to add to that, that the banks are the center of communication, global communication. That's what I'm taking away from it. The financing is the center of communication.
Okay. Now that when you say it like that, that makes sense to me. Yeah. Because we do know without these banks, these motherfuckers can't bust no moves the way that they've been busting moves for real. These banks pay, for a lot of shit to move that we
exactly.
Yeah. So
they're the real wizards.
So he's saying have a relationship with these banks.
They're the real wizards.
Can I ask a question to someone? True power. Was that the statement that was made?
Yeah.
Even said that.
Yes, it was. No, I was going to say yes, it was, and then I was going to ask Kenny to show us where in history where that wasn't a factor.
Well, I was going to ask. So when you say true power, can you explain exactly what you mean by true power? Because you're saying that in order to get true power, not just general power, you're talking about power that you feel like can only be obtained by doing evil. So I'm asking, what is true power? True power.
True power is love of the law. Stephen failed to fully explain it, because you got to look at the word love and evil. They're intertwined. Evil is love backwards. Love is evil backwards. So Stephen just failed to mention a couple key words there, but his power is mass mind control. Meaning when Donald Trump at 2:30 in the morning says, I'm doing what no other president has ever done before. I am independently taking this country to war against Iran at 2:30 in the morning. That's true power. And when he has destroyed 100,000 soldiers, and so my point is, mind control is communication control, and that's the true power. Because all this money is irrelevant when you are yourself are a simple sheeple, and you will do as you are told. Hello?
Are you describing when you say mind control? Because I'm trying to, if you could be more precise with your words. When you say mind control, are you referring to political influence, or are you referring to
actual enforcement power. So those are two different things. So one
hierarchical loyalty.
For example,
loyalty and hierarchy.
Pulling on the strings of the puppet Donald Trump, the lobbyists, the bureaucratic sort of system that we have are kind of pulling on his. So are you saying political influence is?
No, historically the true power players are the warlords. Hello? Can you repeat after me the word warlord?
Okay, so the enforcement arm. So are you saying the individuals who are who have power to kill, essentially, those are the ones who are in true power?
Technically, politically, yes. Unfortunately.
Okay, so would you agree that if we're looking at so Hitler would have been an example of someone who had true power, right?
Any historical leader that has, notarization, as you just suggested, has a historical is the law. Hello?
I'm asking questions to press up against this worldview of true power. So you agree that Hitler, in fact, had this true power?
No.
So my question,
Stephen is making an all or nothing statement, and we all know that only Siths deal in all or nothing statements.
We can't speak for what Stephen says. We gotta let Stephen answer for Stephen.
Okay. I thought he was speaking for Stephen.
No, he another man speaking for another man. I don't know about that. You got to get your answer from Stephen. So right now you're getting your answer from Universe, and I'm just for the sake of conversation. I agree with what Universe said.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree either, but he's not necessarily answering the questions I'm asking, which is fine because it's not the proper. He didn't make the proper.
You originally asked what is true power.
Correct. I asked what was true power, and then I asked a follow-up question. I said, well, under
because
that
true power is a combination of things.
Well, I understand that. That's why I related what he said, and I said, well, if that's what true power is, and I asked him a question, was Hitler an example of someone that had true power? And I didn't get an answer to that. So
does Hitler check off a combination of things that,
Kenny, the point is, I know this is Clubhouse, and I know you want me to be polite to you, but I don't have to answer every question thrown at the universe, because I'm the universe. The universe decides questions the universe wants to answer. I'm the oracle, baby, and as the oracle, I don't have to respond to every single question. Hello?
All right, so then don't. So then universe don't.
Yeah, don't answer. You don't have to come off.
That's easy. You could let somebody else answer.
Bro, this dude is hilarious.
He is. He's had us cracking up for the past hour,
yo. I think that, like, total power, that's how you worded it?
Yeah, because I was trying to get to the bottom. Steven said the only way for you to amass true power is to do evil. And I was asking him, well, what does he consider true power? Because it seems as if the argument rests on that. So, and really, I might even agree with him. That's why I'm asking questions. I'm asking questions because I'm trying to debate with him. We might
dismantling governments, getting people to turn against their governments, getting them to flee from their countries to our countries, or vice versa. However which way it looks, like this, like I don't know what more we could say on that for real.
So that because it all goes into.
Oh, he here now. He here. I want to hear
my
what
bad.
you say.
Yeah, I just gotta let me get in my car and let my Bluetooth. Give me a minute to let my Bluetooth catch up to me.
Okay.
Get that Bluetooth together.
Hey yo, chill out.
But yeah, these different nations to turn on their own fucking government. And come and go ahead, Dunny.
And that's political power right there. You got economic power. You got military power. Those are just three big forms of what we could say whatever it is, true power or
or total power that y'all was saying, and I believe all three of those were taken by force. So, that wasn't my original statement to start with. I believe that was Brother Stephen that was saying that. But in terms of the people who actually controlled those three vectors of power, they didn't take it by unanimous decision or democracy. They took it by force.
Right. Which can be classified as quote unquote, as Brother Stephen said, evil.
Which all of what y'all just explained is influence, is what I'm trying to get y'all to realize. Total power is influence. Stephen, you there?
And how do you get influence? Through communication. And you have to remember always that every technological development of science ultimately creates communication technology. And this app right now, as you experience it, is the complete and total output of human ingenuity, creativity, scientific, electrical, technological innovation. But look what it is, communication. So true power always rests in who controls the levers of communication. And the censors are real. Censorship is so pervasive. There are topics you can't talk about. And so, anyways, hello?
Man, bro, you remind me of a dude off of San Andreas. What's his name? Zero. Yeah, that's his name. You remind me of that dude Zero off San Andreas, bro.
Yeah. You got your Bluetooth together?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my fucking navigation maps to come up. And I like the speed. I like to know where the police are. But, all right, let me get back to this pure evil. There's always going to be conflicts in the world. There's always going to be struggle for power in the world. No matter what civilization that you are part of, there's an old saying that the road to peace is war. So it's pure evil, pure violence. I mean, some people got to die in order to have peace. Some people got to die in order for us to be powerful. Look how many people we're killing in the Gaza Strip. How many people we're killing in Ukraine. How many people we're killing in Iran. So, and this is all for power. This is all for world peace. He said that you got to crack some eggs. And that's the simple fact.
See, the problem with that is it doesn't give us any solution, and you didn't really make too many points. The point is, all wars are just funeral processions amongst spear chuckers. You ever see an old spear chucking war where they all run up and they chuck a spear at each other and run away?
You have no peace. You can't have no peace without war. The road to peace is war. You can't have it. It's impossible. So if war happens to be the largest money-making mechanism in the world. During war, we prosper. So, it's all about power. And power, you got to, like I said, there will be blood. There will be blood. Now, all the people that don't, Malcolm X told us,
So when you say, I guess under that definition, if you have a nation that is fighting, for example, do you agree in something called just war? Can you have a just war?
You can justify war, but no war is just when you kill innocent women. But you can justify it.
What if you didn't intend to kill the women and children, but they died by effect? Like, for example, let's just say there's a war that's happening, and then there's a guy that has a bomb, and he takes that bomb to kill the enemy. But there were civilians that were in the area.
Kenny, it's like an abortion. It's like a late-term abortion.
Would you not consider that just in that instance?
No.
Okay.
No. They're training you to kill. And that's your primary main purpose of being in the military, is to become a government-trained killer. So a killer can't be good. Killer is kind of evil.
Okay, so tell me this, though, Stephen. Why is killing wrong?
Kenny, when they perform an abortion, they don't mean to kill the baby. That's just part of the process. They don't want to kill a baby.
When you kill the innocent.
Yeah, but I'm asking you why.
If you killing a combatant, that's different.
Okay, so I'm asking you a question. If I'm a person, and I believe that killing the innocent is a good thing, I mean, from my perspective, just because I believe it to be, why would you tell me I'm wrong? Why is it wrong to kill the innocent?
Because common sense tell you that when you take innocent lives, it can't be right. I mean, where's your moral compass at?
Yeah, but right.
So the white people have to give you.
Why is it wrong? When you give it, you're saying the circular reason of why it's wrong.
Kenny, you can just put it. You can put it in a formula. You know what a formula is?
All right, I'm gonna give you the Google answer just for the sake of conversation. Just for the sake of conversation, killing is generally, keyword generally, considered wrong because it violates fundamental rights to life, anatomy, and causes irreversible harm. While widely condemned, ethical, legal, and help me out. Philosophical. Thank you. Debates exist, particularly regarding self-defense, capital punishment, and how the hell y'all pronounce this word? Euthanasia? I can't pronounce that.
Euthanasia.
Euthanasia.
So that would be.
I just want to finish. An eye for an eye leaves everyone blind, meaning that you as a species are here to procreate and exist. And if everyone decides that they're going to kill each other, that means you as a species no longer exist. So you come up with social constructs to continue the ability for your species to exist.
Hello?
Down from a community level to an individual level.
Hello?
To exist. So therefore, if you want your progeny to exist, you're going to establish rules and standards that preserve the life of your progeny. And then eventually you expand those to the community as a whole. That is why it is wrong. It's because if everyone
we will all sit around, eat burgers, chickens,
fucking lamb chops, motherfucking goddamn all type of animals that was already killed and not feel nothing from it. Why? Because I mean, it's not innately it's not wrong to kill. It's just that you've been told that it's wrong from the very beginning, so you adopted it to your subconscious. But go ahead, Kenny.
Listen, Sean is correct, but the thing is, Sean's disregarding country status. And problems that we have on Clubhouse is the same friction that countries have with countries. It's no different. It's microcosm and the macrocosm. Oh.
Well, I'll ask you this question then, Universe. So was the Revolutionary War good or bad?
The problem with that question is that the Revolutionary War of the future into the NOW. Hello?
No obfuscating. I'm talking about the Revolutionary War that led to the creation of this country.
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now that people think the Constitution was written in whatever year, but the fact of the matter is it only applies to now. That means it's written right now. The Declaration of Independence is right now, baby. Hello?
No, you're obfuscating. I asked you about a very specific point in history because I'm trying.
I get it, Sean, but baby, I'm an oracle. It don't matter how many times you ask the universe. Universe ain't gotta respond to every question, baby.
You know what, universe, chill. You gotta chill. You gotta chill, Papa.
You're not gonna answer my question.
No, Sean, can you do me a favor, honey? Can you please reiterate your question and we'll
talking about people don't read. And so bring it to the forefront about the birth of this nation. So let's talk about it from a moralistic standpoint. I asked a very specific question. Was the Revolutionary War...
Birth and death are inseparable, baby.
You're going to still speak over me. Because
Universe, stop doing that. Oh, I'm going to have to put you down, honey. Get it out, please.
Well, I die by getting kicked all the time. I don't mind getting kicked. Kick me.
He's going to interrupt because you know what? He doesn't want to answer.
No, he's trolling you.
He's trolling.
He's trolling. Don't get something. Can I fucking Sean?
No, Sean, I want to hear your question now.
Get booted, Kitover. You just don't know how to act on the stage. Now you back in the group.
Right, I'll bring him back up in a second, but I did want you to ask your question again because I missed it. I'm multitasking, doing homework and listening at the same time. So can you reiterate that for me, please?
Yeah, because it's my question to him was, especially a person who's always cited books, things that were written in the past. Because any book that's written is typically in the past because it has to be mass produced. So I asked, my question is that right? Was that right or wrong? Was the Revolutionary War right or wrong?
I feel like we're trying to get a factual outcome from something that's only perception based.
Yeah, and also I wanted to kind of undermine Sean's answer to my question earlier.
Undermine?
Sean, your argument essentially on...
If you're going to undermine me, don't tell me you're going to undermine.
You basically made an argument from preference. Your argument was essentially humans prefer to survive. Killing basically utilitarianism, and that doesn't necessarily satisfy what I was putting forward because my question would then be if in fact that's the preference, why does that preference of non-killing generate a moral obligation? For an example, if I were to say I prefer for everyone in this room to be silent, and then you were to say I prefer for everyone to speak, neither of those produce what's called a moral ought, meaning that everyone ought to do it. preference based. So even though I understand the logic, by the same logic, I could say, well, I prefer for society not to survive, and I want to kill everybody. And you would have no moral argument under that utilitarianism view to argue back against me. So that's why I think that that's a limited sort of secular view to take.
And I would say
I think the first report, a reporter was the first one to report about the missing.
Yeah, like I don't hear Monica at all.
What? Okay.
I think we need a new room. I think it's just time to boom this room. It's too old.
Let's
it expired.
go. Let's go. Let me do it.
Okay.
So he was obsessed with creating.
Brad.
Unlike many others, though, my dad's job kept us on the move. A lot. Moved a lot.
From what Joe B told me about him and his cryptography for what, 30, you said 30 plus years? I think is what you said.
Cryptologist, yep.
Yeah, and then you followed in his footsteps, dude. Like that's and then you have your brother did the same thing.
I don't know what they did. Ronnie was supply. Ronnie did the supply.
Dude, but it's all one team, one fight. Nobody can get it all done by themselves.
The instantiation of that metaphysical.
Hold on, let me write this down. Hold on a second. Okay, so say it again. I want to make sure I got this right.
The claim of having grounded, consistent moral values in the world, in the worldview, for the most part.
Wait, the Christian or the theist world? Like the Hindu
worldview? Is itself an instantiation of that metaphysical grounding.
So you said a bunch of nothing. Are you ready to say something substantive now?
Did you have a pushback for what I said?
Well, I want.
Changing throughout eternity.
Okay, unchanging throughout eternity and not physical, right? So it doesn't involve physical things?
Correct.
Okay, so it doesn't involve human minds or anything?
No, it wouldn't involve a mind. Otherwise, it wouldn't be grounded.
Wait. It does or doesn't?
It would have to be.
So it would be a non-physical thing that involves physical things. Okay, hold on. Let me write that down. Okay, what else?
And that's what I mean by grounded.
So far, I think we're all clear now. Thank you, Congressman. That was perfectly clear. I've learned so much. Thanks, Regal, for having me stop and listen.
Yeah, so if your position is that you reject my claim of metaphysical grounding, okay, for the which is good or bad in the moral sense. If you reject that, then what you would have to account for is the reasoning by which you are making that conclusion. And then, on top of that, you would have to give a grounding for the normativity of the reasoning that you use to arrive at that conclusion. And without a godlike metaphysical entity to ground it on, you're left to absurdity, because it ultimately self-refutes. In other words, you'd be affirming that which undermines the very foundations on which you're building your current.
We're at McDonald's.
You have a word for position. Go on. Go on. Good job. Okay. Cool. Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Cringe Tonight. You have been very enlightening today. Really appreciate it. Thank you. I'll bet you Hard Paul can totally steel man you and it's going to match. I'm sure Regal can say a bunch of bullshit too, so let's listen to Regal yarn.
He's so nice to have
Regal.
Regal.
It's your turn. Regal, go ahead.
That's between you two. You wanted to call out Crimson.
I love how
you wanted
friendly
to have the
he is.
discussion with them. You guys can interlock and do that.
We've done that. We've locked horns, and now I'm separating myself because it's time to shed that. And I welcome you now, so you guys can talk. Why don't you guys clear up? Do you have any disagreements with Crimson on that, or are you on board?
Board with what?
That's what I was wondering. What the fuck is he talking about? Can you steel man him, please?
Well, do you Trinitarian?
Are all three of those beings omniscient?
What do you mean all three of those beings? What do you mean by that?
Well, I've heard that the Trinity are three beings, but one entity.
What he means is
Where did you hear that from?
Oh, well, can you just say here? How about this? Let's just keep it really simple. Can you explain the Trinity to me so I know what you mean?
So Trinity is.
So the Trinity, especially
Crimson Knight didn't want to talk, but now he's butting into our time. Don't you think that's a little bit rude?
Okay.
Okay.
Why don't you mute up while you finish your quesadilla, dude? Come on.
So when you refer to the persons in the Trinity, we're referring to who God is, how God reveals himself. So if you've heard that there are three persons, it's not the person in a sense of a being, an individual in that sense. We have Tawheed. So they explain God through essence and attribute distinctions. They don't have a...
Why are you talking about what other people say?
They don't have a distinct category for who God is. I hope that answers your question. Does that answer your question?
Not what other people say.
Did that answer your question for me, Major?
I'm trying to get a straight answer from you. What is the Trinity? Please explain.
I just did.
Okay, I'm sorry. I heard you talking about what other people say.
So let's be clear here. The essence is God. That's what we're pointing to when we talk about the persons.
Which persons?
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Okay. Are those the Basios from the missing persons? Is that what you mean? Like walking in LA? That kind of stuff?
The fuck does that mean?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. You're in the queue. So, Honey Badger, I hope that clarifies that. I have explained that to you. Do you have any further questions?
No, I'm totally up to speed now with what the Trinity is. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, cool. So now you know the difference between Tawheed and Trinity. They're both two things in common. The only thing that Tawheed doesn't have is the who God is. And when I ask a Muslim, who is God, they have no means of explaining that whatsoever. And I dare you to ask them one of these days, who is Allah? and they'll defer to the essence and the attributes of God, but they won't explain who God is. So when we explain who God is, we explain the factor that God revealed himself to Adam, Moses, Abraham, in a personal way. So they don't have that in Islam, because the way God is revealed is through solipsist. That's how you know God's not a solipsist.
God's not a solipsist?
That's right, because he can know himself.
Interesting. That's really cool information. That was really informative too. Thank you.
Yeah, the Muslim God is a solipsist, though.
See, what's interesting about this conversation is not so much about what we're learning from Regal, but the fact that Honey thinks he's being funny, and he's also making fun of somebody. And it's funny that some people probably aren't in on the inside joke. Am I correct? Hello?
Hello? I fucking love it, dude. Just, like, you can be here, man. Just don't do too much. Hello?
Well, I have a question for you. I'm looking at a sentence here. It says, a life of greater joy, power, and satisfaction awaits those who consciously design their life. Meaning that you take the book known as the New Testament, and then you use that book to consciously design your life. Hello?
What if, well, I mean, no. You would have to say that the design is dependent on the New Testament. So, I mean, maybe there's some truth to that on Protestantism. They're just taking the blueprint and designing something new, but I wouldn't say that for Catholic or Orthodox, though.
That's cool, Regal.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So are you interested in becoming a member or a catechumen, Honey Badger?
I'll tell you something interesting that I learned.
Rabboni Shalom. New management is here, so all stupid communication will be eliminated. And honey, you can see how stupid that statement is compared to an interesting, introspective conversation about our Lord and King Jesus Christ. You're failing to see the finer things of Christianity, honey. You're just verbose and vulgar and crude and immature. Grow up, young man. Hello?
I'm sorry, man. That's just funny.
I think people like Paul Rags to Riches. I don't know if you're familiar with him, John Kitover, but he's consciously designing his life through Scripture and Christ. Do you agree?
I'm not sure who that is that you're talking. Yeah, I can do 30 seconds.
Take a fresh 45 seconds, bro.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's Regal's room. We'll do 30 seconds.
There are other people here. I don't know if other people want to listen to this.
It's very quick. 30 seconds is fast because you guys could be here for hours, and 30 seconds of multiple hours is nothing. Okay, everybody just take a deep breath. The creative desire. The Oriental tradition sees in desire the beginning of the universe. This card is an invitation to not complicate desire. It is unnecessary to fight against sexuality. Any repression puts you in struggle against yourself, and you realize that you need all your energy. The card signifies that you are in harmony with the creative power of the universe. Number 2, receptiveness. This card the implications and an invitation to not reduce the other to an object, nor to sell yourself in the name of love, but rather to open up to the freedom in which love can exist. So my question to you, Honey Badger, is what do you fail to see in Christianity doesn't deal with the biggest topics of your own personal life, like love? Hello?
I don't know, but I like what you read. I mean, that's better than anything I've heard from Christianity.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I can continue to read, or we can continue to have R-word conversations about Miley Cyrus. It's your choice.
Hey, I just thought that 2020 performance of hers where she's wearing that black dress and they're freaking rocking on stage. I don't know what event it was, but I was actually surprised and impressed. It was pretty badass.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm not really into all that. I'm actually into music, not like beats and loops and, stupid.
Of Glass by Blondie, which is typically like this 80s disco feel, and it was fucking killer, and I was actually impressed.
I mean, yeah, sometimes, musicians come out with good covers and singles and shit, but how come she can't make her own music? Why does she have to, why do all the all the current existing, young people of today want to parasite off of what came before and then completely erase the culture? It's like, back in the 1990s, everybody was coming together and making the world a better place. Everybody was trying to stop pollution. Everybody was getting together and getting along. And then in 2012 up to 2016, all of a sudden, it's all feminism returning. It's Black Lives Matter returning. It's all this fucking racist nonsense returning when all that shit's been defeated already. So they want to take the previous culture, erase it, and then
In Corinthians 3:5, it says, "It is not that we think we are qualified to do anything on our own. Our qualification comes from God." So, Honey, Regal, when we say our qualification comes from God, is that political? Is that a frame that immediately, dispositions someone else? Hello?
I would ask Billy Corgan, Regal, about that, and his take on it that I saw in an interview was that the mass media started getting rid of rockers and bringing in even more pop shit. So I would recommend listening to the lead singer and head guy for Smashing Pumpkins to get some of that information you're asking.
I love him.
Yeah, Pumpkins rip.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there are a lot of, this even comes down to, not only music, but this also comes down to films. It's like, they want to erase the previous generation that made all these wonderful films. Practical effects. It's amazing.
Well, it's not better than practical effect, but it's much more cost effective. You do know why they're doing that, right, Regal? It's to cut back on costs. New management is here. Hello?
Yeah, I get it. The old generation that tried harder, that made better, whether it's like graphic art or visual or audible art. And it's like, well, let's erase that, copy it, paste it over here, and then say, I did that when they didn't.
Well, it's times like these that I think about Philippians 4:6. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. See, honey, it's all the same thing. Whatever program I deliver to you, And the truth is, new management is here. So everybody's got to start coming into office on time. And you can't take more than a 30-minute lunch break. And at 5 o'clock, you got to leave. There's no overtime, baby. Hello?
I love the performance. It's very theatrical.
Well, I mean, you guys can resume the discussion. I mean, guys can talk about whatever you want. Just throw it on the fucking table and.
Regal, how are you doing?
Nothing but gumdrops and ice cream here. I'm just basically prepping dinner for later.
Yeah? I don't know what I'm making yet. Pretty much ate all the food in my house this morning because I'm quitting smoking. So.
Did you have any bagels and cream cheese?
Hey everybody! Hey everybody! I found a treasure box. Okay. And
what's it called? Is it called the Bible?
Nah, not necessarily.
Well, how do you know it's a treasure box then?
Because there's gold and
How do you know what's in the box before you open it?
because it's a treasure box, you know what I mean? And literally under it, it's an X. So what do you expect?
It contain really anything, right?
Yeah, but I'm 100% sure.
What if someone shit in the box?
Ooh.
You understand, right?
It's a treasure.
White bitches, older white bitch, older bitches fucking with younger bitches. I love that shit. Love that shit. Older young bitches together? Oh yeah, that shit is fire, nigga. Like when you got like a bitch, that shit, them bitches be bad as hell with the fire old bitch. Oh hell yeah, nigga, the old one.
I think this guy suffers from sex addiction.
Shout out to
He's a sex addict. You're a sex addict, Starscream. So you're a sex addict. You need help.
I ain't gonna lie to you, gang. I'm gonna keep it real with you. When Shorty, from being younger, dealing with grown women and shit, what they opened my mind to, that's what I ain't gonna lie. Having a woman that lets you access her body however you want is like it's
Oh my God, stop it, Edmund.
It's for.
You know, it's times like these that I think of Psalms 13:15. I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation.
Sorry, John. You're gonna take a break for a little bit, dude. I do appreciate you, though. I do like having you here. So what's up, Nargis?
Nothing much. Just reading up some.
What happened last night? Like, were you guys like really intolerant of like, you know, my dogmatic notations on Catholicism? Because I sit there and listen to all of you guys for hours on end without speaking, and it's like none of you guys seem to have a backbone. You guys never want to remain committed to your worldview. You just want to like pop in and out here and there and just pick and choose your beliefs. and I give charity to you guys, right?
I give you charity, Sadaka.
You walk with my room, right? And the second that I don't want Hanzo in here doing his stupid Muhammad rhetoric stuff, and I'm like, this whole Christ died on the cross thing, it never happened. It just, God made it look like it to appear that way. I don't like that narrative, and it's insulting to my religion, and that's okay. So I can't kick him out.
That was not the topic. The topic was like you were denying reality.
No, I
can't for me right now.
No, I'm not emotional. I'm fine. I sat in this room by myself. No problem at all. Like, you guys can leave anytime you want. I'm not getting it the same way.
I don't think anyone expects charity because we didn't come here for charity.
Charity club.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to peel my ass cheeks apart and let Muhammad fuck me? Is that what you want?
I mean, it would be a nice experience if you had allowed for it, but
okay, well, it's never gonna happen. I'm sorry, I apologize. It's just never gonna happen, and that dude's a fraud.
You're using an argument that never happened and never existed.
Yeah, here's the argument. The argument is how does the infancy gospel of Thomas end up in the Quran if Muhammad himself was not a plagiarist?
This is not the topic. We were speaking about. Caleb is here actually. Caleb, are you here? This is being completely twisted around.
Are you going to explain that to me or not?
This is not what we spoke about, and I think you're using.
So Muhammad plagiarizes the infancy gospel of Thomas, which is
talk about this.
Forgery, and that ends up in the Quran. And
the legends you have in the Bible also come from sources prior.
All right, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in the Muslim tap dancing, the what about this instead, the what about your Bible. If you want to answer the question and accept the challenge and actually explain it, accept the challenge, you know what I mean? Muhammad got this infancy gospel of Thomas. Okay, he repeated it and ended up in the Quran. Reconcile that. That's the challenge. If you don't want to do the challenge, then it's okay. We can talk about something else. How you doing, Converse?
If you want to dialogue.
What's that?
Yeah, no one should ever dialogue with Hans.
No, I get it. I didn't really feel like sitting there for not into it. Good reason for that. So how are you doing today, Converse?
Yeah, I'm good. Just getting some work done. What's up? What's been going on? You guys had some conversations in here that were interesting yet?
Yeah, we had the honey badger in here. He's he's being his same old self.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. That was actually pretty fun because you just really come to the discovery that he doesn't really have anything much interesting to offer as far as dialogue is concerned. He's got more questions, no answers, that type of thing.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the game, sure.
Right, everybody likes to play the game on here.
Dad, when I say I trolls Dad, to the point to where it's I be calling one-legged bitch, and I be like, so what? Now I unscrew this motherfucker and I hung this bitch at your motherfucking head.
Hey girl, this room's being recorded by the Alistair guy, so kick him out, please. That is John Kitover, he records rooms. So
I do not consent with being recorded.
Yeah, you gotta remove him. Still put you on YouTube, Pandora, everything, so I'll get him out.
Pandora.
Will not at first be clear to you, but at least school denied they have trained you in determination, accuracy, introspection, and many other qualities which are valuable to all men in their ordinary avocations, so that in no case will your time have been wasted. That you may gain some insight into the nature of the great work which lies beyond these elementary trifles. However, we should mention that an intelligent person may gather more than a hint of its nature from the following books, which are to be taken as serious and learned contributions to the study of nature, though not necessarily to be implicitly relied upon. The Ye King as we eat. Potentially the sort of song. Don't care what du har gjort. Vi ska kom dina hållbar sida på liquid magic. Paramel in the mega sida pasha. The Hatha yoga brother because spirits of killing no one else. I was history and philosophy. Captain Dora Tama Paya. Carry the West. Captain Dora Tama Paya. Protections of King Melinda. 777 Del Polygamina. Excited. The realities of religious experience.
With a restless trust, skyline cut. On this land, reaching out a hand, oh, this winter's serenade, playing through the streets, a hopeful song where every neighbor meets. Voices rising strong and bold, stories of a city told. Yeah, the rhythm of our hearts, a promise we keep. This wind of change serenade, rising so deep. Rising so deep. Lakes will shine, every skyline light in sight. Dreams of every block stepping into the light. This moment's golden, we're taking back our time. Every single voice, a powerfully placed line in the wind on my face. It feels like a spark, talking about a future that can't let this start. Got my 2 feet on this land, reaching out ahead on this rough chain serenade, playing through the streets. A hopeful song where every neighbor meets. Voices rising strong and bold, stories of the city told. Yeah, the rhythm of our hearts, a promise we keep. This wind of change serenade. Oh, this wind change serenade, playing through those streets. A hopeful song where every neighbor meets. Voices rising strong and bold, stories of the city told. Yeah, the rhythm of our hearts, a promise we keep. This wind of change serenade, rising so deep. Wind of change serenade. Children of the sun, the councils of the brotherhood have assembled to be with you in this hour of the reckoning. As men reckon time and space, so the law itself, embodied in the person of the lawgiver, does reckon as one who measures with the rod those who are in the inner temple and those who are in the outer court. Consuming fire of love, so is his law manifest, as above, so below. That the law is impersonal, yet most personal in its application. Those who are one with the consuming fire are drawn up in the draft of the Holy Spirit, and they themselves become a part of the vortex, the pillar of fire that leads the children of Israel and nations unto the promised land of the abundant life. There are forces set in motion upon earth today which can only be checked by counter forces of light. Light that must always be embodied within you, masters and angels, such as embodied devotees, those who form the connecting link of light, those who keep
Hello?
Hello. Is this the room for nice and friendly people? It is. What is... Yes, it is. Joy, joy, I finally found a room in Clubhouse that isn't toxic. You found a room. Thank you, Mario. I'm so... Have you here, universe? Thank you, Mario. Listen to this.
the currents flowing in the heart of the earth. Understand then that inasmuch as the lawgiver is the law, there is no abrogation of cosmic law in reference to this or that person who may be beloved of God, yet who stubbornly remains outside of the geometry of that law. God loves himself in every part of life. Every child of his heart is beloved. And all that has proceeded forth from him, even energy itself, contains the very magnet of his love, whereby that substance, that will, that force, ignorance, through manipulation, who are aligned with force fields, completely outside of the nucleus of God's law, God's economy, God's abundant life, and God's own reality. When the Lord God intensifies the sacred fire in the midst of the people Israel, and the whirlwind begins to accelerate, you must understand that only those who are aligned with the law, that is the consuming fire, remain within the vortex of reality. Those who are unaligned or misaligned.
So this is like some crazy chick from 1979 who had some kind of cult called Camelot, and it's this Ascended Masters teachings on YouTube. And they released it 21 hours ago. It's very crazy. It's like super cultish, but
those who remain at the periphery of life itself are thrown off by the very force itself from the whirling action of the sacred fire. These are laws that have ever been at work in the matter spheres. If they were to be violated by the Lord for one or for another, then the entire system of universal law would break down, and those who have abrogated the law and worshiped the lesser self in place of the greater self could then find passageway into the very midst of the garden and the tree of life. You must understand then that the hour of reckoning is the hour of summoning your own God consciousness. Law, and by the intercession of miracles of grace through individual life streams. And then again, wisdom is to assess what cannot be changed because the majority of the people have aligned their free will with the non-aligned energies of the mass consciousness. Thus, free will is ever preserved, for without free will, there is no evolution, there is no continuity of being, there is no experiment in the great laboratory of time and space. When free will is withdrawn, time and space collapse. Yes, I said, when they are verily coordinates of universal creativity. Thus, should the Lord God determine to enter the mainstream of life in violation of free will, that free will would be withdrawn, and therefore the entire opportunity for the law of transcendence to be outpictured within the individual. This law of transcendence decrees that every individual manifestation of the Godhead has the divine right to transcend himself. Understand the meaning of this, that the spiraling flame within you, God ordained, has the right to spiral higher each day, and the transcend the former state. This law of transcendence is the very foundation of life, of evolution, of expansion within an expanding universal God consciousness. You will note how the fallen ones have attempted to deprive the children of the light from self-transcendence. Once you have sinned, they will nail you to the cross of sin. Whatever you have ever done, in whatsoever embodiment, they will call forth the record and nail you to the cross of that record long after you have repented and advanced to heights of virtue. Crucifixion is the foundation of the initiation of that crucifixion, and through that cross of white fire, Alpha and Omega, lo, they impart to you the light of God consciousness to transmute bodily within your temple planetary karma, personal karma, and to hold the balance in the hour of transition. The crucifixion is the fastening of the soul to the cosmic cross of white fire. It is the great privilege of having access to the line of Alpha and Omega, whereby freedom in time and space is indeed sustained. Therefore, you can understand that the crucifixion itself is the This is liberty. This is the fiery cord of the torch of liberty that we pass to you. Understand how the fallen ones have attempted to pervert the very path of initiation and to use sin and the sense of sin, struggle and the sense of struggle, to take you apart from the mainstream of the joy of God realization through initiation. Therefore, the law of transcendence decrees that those who will to be and to accelerate life must be given the opportunity to do so. And those who exercise free will to confirm and affirm do so because they must understand the beginning and the ending of their decision and their exercise of free will, so that ultimately they may make the decision to bind the spoiler within the temple of life. Free will, then, is the supreme opportunity to learn. Learning itself is a most necessary experience for evolving souls. Therefore, the karmic board looks upon the evolutions of Earth and of the land of America, and our decisions must effect each individual and groups of individuals who fall by their own. The free will to misqualify energy in certain areas results in individuals aligning themselves with all others who so misqualify energy. This is the understanding of the law that like attracts like. Thus you find yourselves in the company of light bearers of a certain dimension and understanding. This is the definition of your community, representing brotherhood. Now we look at a nation and we look at the crossroads. The crossroads for some represents the cosmic cross of white fire and the supreme moment of self-transcendence. There is no law that is written in and therefore life, reborn, resurrected, charged with that flame of mother of pearl, is the result of your submission to the path and gives to you a net gain of life and light with which to infuse the decay and the dying of society itself, yea, even of the dream of Saint Germain for America. How the clouds of greed, of hate and hate creation have distorted and covered over the dream for so many. So few have the vision, and those who do have so little understanding of the implementation of the vision. Understand that God has set you aside as a peculiar people. It is not only the people of the world who think you peculiar, but the angels and the ascended masters also know that you are a most peculiar people, willing to have the full power of the Holy Ghost flow through you in the spoken word, in your affirmations that have an unending chain of life, all of their own, proceeding from the heart of the mother, where all invocations gather. This chain links to the very heart of Alpha. It is forged and won by every prayer, every dynamic decree, and the call becomes the umbilical cord of the earth itself, where child in gestation, not life, and all of you collectively give birth, ultimately, as it is God's will, to that universal man-child within the planetary body as the Christ consciousness of the few and hopefully the many. Thus, the lifeline of energy, sustained by those who have never lost the memory of the word of Sanat Kumara, is ever the hope of the karmic board, and therefore we come in our concern we have proceeded upon a course of parallel line in the past 7 years. We have determined that this of light bearers should be prepared for survival in the octaves of matter, no matter what the conditions of change or turbulence or transition upon Earth. We have also determined that simultaneously with this preparation, there should continue a program of mass education of the people who have ears to hear the teachings of the Brotherhood and whose fears, transmuted by the violet flame, no longer impede their preparation to know the truth, to face the truth, and for the expansion of the message. Each 7-year cycle contains within itself a certain seed matrix of the cosmic Christ, born by the Chelas. Therefore, the Lords of Karma look to the conclusion of this cycle on February 26th, 1980, as the moment when we will know the harvest and the results of our experiments, with the release of illumination's flame, with abundant joy of freedom. Many students have come and gone through the halls of Summit University. Some are pillars of fire in our teaching centers and study groups. And they themselves have not assimilated the seed, and therefore they have gone their separate ways. It is our consideration that many more who have accepted the full effulgent light of our torch should have done so, but have not. Therefore, the balance of light in the earth is precarious. Therefore, while we pursue the posture of conversion and preaching to the nations, we desire to confirm within our very midst a strong heart center, a viable center to this community, a center that would be the refuge of light bearers, a spiritual refuge, and even a material refuge. Beginning but not ending with the messenger. For each one of you as Chila is a vehicle of the word and its understanding. Therefore, our care, our love, and our concern for you remains infinite. For each one of you who ventures forth into the world today, our angels, our monitors are present. We watch and we keep the watch as we send guardian angels to all those who have determined to stand with the light. We consider your courage, your God determination, and your own love to assist your brothers and sisters upon earth. Therefore we have not left you then that gravity itself dictates life upon earth, and the gravity studied in terms of coming events whose shadows precede them even now in the conditions of the historical stream which are recycling in the modes of war, of economics, even of persons re-embodied in the governments of the nations who have risen once again finally to outplay their own free will and to be judged. And this is somewhat the crucifixion of the light bearers. Lord God Almighty administers that initiation. Their abuse of life can never be termed the crucifixion. Rather, it is persecution. It is hatred. It is wanton murder and destruction. Nevertheless, the children of the light have interpreted such conditions as the crucifixion, for they have not understood that the crucifixion is neither death nor pain, but is life and bliss. Therefore, my beloved, while these individuals outplay their hand in the ending of the cycle, in the final hour of opportunity to bend we then, centered in the very center of the mandala of the temple of the sun, move in our solutions from every point of the circle, 360 degrees. It is 360 angles of God consciousness being brought to bear upon the situation of Earth and her evolutions. Multiply this by the spherical nature of infinity, and you will behold God in the center of Earth and her evolutions, God on the periphery in the person of legions of the armies of the faithful and God without and mankind betwixt these of Alpha and Omega. What then does this constitute? It constitutes the pressure of light. Understand the pressure of light when that pressure comes down upon discord. It is very simple. Discord increases, is forced out of itself, is forced to the very surface of the planetary body. All karmic conditions Thus the turmoil, thus the chaos and the confusion. And in the midst of all of this, the tension of light, the pressure of life itself results in God coming into manifestation in his sons and daughters. Your own advancement on the path, the increase of light within you, could only be the result of such cosmic conditions unprecedented. You have seen the temple and taken it almost for granted, as though the moment you should place your attention upon God, such miracles would occur. My beloved, this is no ordinary manifestation that souls of light could come into our midst and drink at the fountain of the messenger herself and receive that light for which she is the vessel of the light in the center of the sun, and the vessel of the light of the armies of the Lord. This light transferred to you is like a giant pump, pumping air, pumping the sacred fire, pumping living waters until you are so filled with light. It is almost as in the early church when they were drunk with light. So that occurs only at preordained moments, only when the pressure of the brotherhood and cosmic beings comes to earth again in the course of cycles for a harvest. This is the hour of the harvest, when many will ascend, and others who are resurrected by the very force of the light itself will be resurrected to the final judgment. Now then, with these conditions advancing and intensifying, you must understand that certain conditions, as Saint Germain has always told you, are unpredictable even from our octave because of the nature of free will, because of the nature itself of the human consciousness. But there is one thing that is certain: the paucity of leadership. The worst decisions, the very worst decisions that could be imagined. From the standpoint then of leadership alone, we consider that the earth has never been in greater peril than she is in this very hour and moment. The peril being great, the countermeasures for the protection of souls must be great. Inasmuch as all conditions are in a state of flux, and no downward avalanche, even in the economy itself, has yet crystallized into outer darkness, it is a supreme moment for alchemy, for change. Thus, the infusion into the very heart and mainstream of American life of the violet flame itself also dreams a dream, and he measures in his heart the quotient of light and the effect that certain portions of the violet flame would have and could have in America. He sees the cosmic cube. He sees the intensity of the violet flame through you. And he shows us not one or two, but many, no less than 360 alternative outcomes in coming months, dependent entirely upon how the spark of freedom and of liberty is received as it is being transmitted. Understand that in one sense, freedom has never been so free, and free will has never all of this within the realm of possibility and even probability. The equations then differ, but none of them change according to the will of heaven or the brotherhood or the law itself. The equations themselves change only with the acceptance of embodied light bearers and the mainstream of humanity at large. The outcome then is entirely dependent on how light bearers implement the wisdom, the joy, the love, the law, the freedom itself. It is as though there were silence in heaven, as a hush is come upon angels. Of your heart and the altar of our sanctuary. If mankind wait to see what powers will do, I can assure you that heaven waits to see what the superpowers in terms of those who have the greatest light will do. We admonish you to stay close to home in your heart, to always be with the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. We admonish you to have the sense of home as being not only where the heart is, but where the mother is. We admonish you to have the sense for the mother flame is the law of manifestation itself, even as the law of the consuming fire. When your consciousness vibrates with the heart of mother, you are secure in that heart. When it is not, no amount of outer provision for safety can save you from world karma or individual karma. Some have supposed that an idolatrous relationship or an outer tie would suffice. These have seen the error of their ways, and numbers of these are on the other side of life. And they have passed through transition, never understanding the true meaning of the Guru Chila cosmic interchange. This is the love of community. Let this community prosper in the spirit and in the abundant life, and let the members be as one, all for one and one for all. Let love abide, let love consume all fear. Let love be the ability to mobilize for the mission unto the nations and for the mission of securing the place prepared in the wilderness, whereby the birth of the man-child is secured for generations to come. I am the goddess of liberty. I am the mother of the flame within you. The cosmic cube, for the guarding of the promised land. I bid you take my hand in defense of life everywhere, and most especially within the souls of my little ones throughout the nations of the earth. I breathe a prayer for holy angels to inspire you